that school just is a NBA player
Got
factory.
Brandon Jennings and Rondo and yeah, you said Melo, Steven Jackson. They've gotten a lot of Rod Strickland.
Yeah, yeah. Like,
They've
recent guys, Dwayne Bacon, who a lot of us know,
Yep.
uh, Sindarius Thornwell, Doron Lamb, Brandon Jennings, who you mentioned, Ty Lawson, Josh Smith, Marcus Williams, Steve Blake. You know what I mean? Jeff McKinnon, Jerry Stackhouse. Yo, like the school is a NBA machine, right?
Yep.
Uh, Rod Strickland and Cam Thomas is their all-time leading scorer and points. Amazing. This kid fell to us, and you could see he's still a kid playing a grown man's game, but the thought of that particular kid who went off tonight, like not went off would be hyperbole, like would be an exaggeration. He showed us tonight again that he's a scorer, and if everyone wasn't trying to get theirs, he could have gone for 30 tonight, and it wouldn't have been nothing for him to do it. It wouldn't have been, even when his shot is not going, his ability to draw fouls just tells this kid is going to be incredible. Like, am I wrong, Sam?
I see. I just don't. I don't really know. I'm like doing a combination of like tempering my expectations, but also it's hard to argue with like what you see every day. Because look, he hasn't done like when you combine the summer league,
Mm-hmm.
college, and what he's shown even in this one preseason game. Like he's stepped up to every test and exceeded it. Like so, it's hard for me to be, and I don't want to be like the negative guy. I'm just wondering, like at the end of the day, what's his actual role, and who is he going to jump ahead of in the rotation, and like given his smaller frame, and he's not particularly long, like he's not one of these short guys that then has like the Donovan Mitchell insane wingspan. Like what is his, and he's not like an insane athlete.
Right.
He's just a volume scorer that knows how to get his whenever and has like great footwork and whatnot. So I think the question is just like, what is his actual like NBA future, and is this the type of guy that like if he was on the Magic this year would be
Mm-hmm.
a Rookie of the Year candidate, but on the Nets, like how, like where is he finding his place and his role? But like
So tell me, listen to this. Listen to this. Let's do this experiment. I'm gonna describe a player to you.
yeah,
Tell me who he is. He's a shooting guard ish. He's not a skinny player at all. He's got some meat on his bones. Uh, he's a good scorer. Not a great athlete, and not very fast. Not doesn't have incredible hops, but he can score, draw fouls, and he has a knack for getting to the free throw line. Who am I describing?
I mean you could be describing the beard.
That's right. I
Yeah,
could be describing the Beard or Cam Thomas.
yeah.
Guess what? Cam Thomas gets to play every day at HSS working on his craft with James Harden. That like that's an incredible blessing. Like even though Cam said Kyrie put him under the wing, I get that. Kyrie likes to be the big brother now, so being the little brother to KD and LeBron and the like for so long. I guess he's been wanting to have his stable of young boys. Totally get it. Don't turn my boy vegan though. Totally get what Kyrie's doing. I want him to do that. Good. That's great leadership. But I really would like Cam Thomas to spend time with Harden, because if Harden could teach him that black magic, that whatever the thing that he knows for drawing fouls and manipulating defenders, if he could, Cam Thomas can do that. And if he's patient and gets to his time, I think he could be a hell of a player. Like people make the mistake of calling him Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell's more of an athlete. His burst and first step to the rim is what gets him his buckets. Cam is not that. He doesn't have that same burst, and he doesn't. And his shot is not really even that dependable. It could become dependable. He hits threes and they look beautiful, but it's Cam is just guile, right? Like I'm not describing the kid, am I?
No, I think you're totally on. And like, look, I shouldn't have been as like critical earlier because like, look, the truth of the matter is like, and I'm glad that we made it almost like 20 minutes through or whatever without talking about vaccination. But like, look, those guards, whether it's Kyrie or Harden or even like the older Patty Mills, like those guys are gonna need days off, and like it'll be interesting to see the offense like run through him in a second unit where guys are sitting and whatnot. And to be honest, like the team lacked that last year. Like the team lacked a guy who wanted to just like get his own buckets. Like everybody that came in, besides Mike James, who's like a whole other beast, but besides him, like, you know, they had a lot of guys last year that like would pound the rock and like weren't really looking to score or pass. Like you think about like the Chiozas and the Tyler, and even my favorite like Tyler Johnson, stuff like that. You have like guys who are like players, but they don't have any elite skill. And Cam is gonna like bring that. Like, you know, that if Cam comes in against a bench unit in like a game in February, he's gonna like have a quarter where he scores 14 points. Like, it's just gonna happen. Like
the sad thing is on this team he can't win Rookie of the Year.
Right.
But
yeah,
I think if he was on the Knicks, he could win a Rookie of the Year. If he was on a bad team that doesn't have like a guy when the chips are down, you just need a bucket. You know, he's more that than R.J. Barrett. Like R.J. Barrett is a better player, I would say. You know, being objective, better prospect as well. You know, bigger size. But the guile that this kid, like getting a last minute bucket, this kid just has something about him for doing exactly that. It's rare. It's rare. I don't think it's wrong to celebrate it. So okay, now that we've kind of talked about the three that we know, we kind of feel are gonna be around, Kessler Moore, a G League. I'm sure they'll work some kind of two-way with him. Let's talk about who's on the fringe, like the rest of the guys that we saw. So you know I love Sekou Doumbia. He looked good against, you know, the very, 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 you know, scraping the bottom of the Lakers barrel. He looked good, but I don't think Nash fancies him. I don't think Nash is a fan. You think Sekou gonna make it?
No, my read from just like the game and like I guess what I've read and heard and whatnot is it seems like for that last like 15 spot or whatever, it seems like it's Bembry's to lose with like Sekou on the outside looking in, and then however you say that guy's name, Devontae, the one who's on the Lakers.
Who used to be on the Lakers? I'm not saying his name.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it. I just don't know how to say it. And it makes everybody laugh anyway every time. But like it seems like I actually thought he added a little bit of something nice that like just like some energy and something that I know you've spoken about in past like pods of wanting to have, like just like the Alizé type.
Yeah, just guys who can just run and dunk, like who can defend a bigger wing. You know, I think the Nets hurt Joe Harris in trying to make him play small forward. Joe Harris is not a small forward. He plays small forward for the Brooklyn Nets. He does a amicable job, but he takes a lot of punishment because he's not athletic enough and he's not big enough. He's just not big enough. And when you have these guys, like I know they like Bembry, but Bembry's not better than Sekou. I'm sorry, he's just not. Like I'm not gonna argue who they end up cutting and who they end up playing, but I think they'll regret it if they let Sekou go for Bembry because Sekou's a way better offensive player. They're actually equal to me. I'm talking about watching them on League Pass in Detroit. I think Sekou's every bit of the defender that Bembry is. It's just Bembry is more telegenic. He necessarily just outwardly is just running all over the place like a
Yeah,
madman,
I
but
agree.
he's not necessarily really doing anything, right?
I mean, the other thing, so I'm with you, and I got into arguments I remember on Twitter about Bembry a little bit. The one thing that people also overrate about Bembry is that like he's not this like 6'8" wing. Like Bembry's
Right,
6'5". Bembry's
right,
small. Like
right,
he's going to be guarding like, and he's not particularly built. So realistically, the guys he's going to be guarding are point guards and shooting guards, which that's kind of what you brought in Javon Carter for. I know that Carter's four
right,
inches smaller, but Carter is like a dog out there. Like he's awesome. And like
right.
he
I personally I thought Javon Carter was the worst player out there today.
interesting.
Um, um, I don't I
Offensively, he probably is.
I don't like his game. Like was he disruptive? Yeah. Um, is he maybe what we need? Kind of, but he had no flow to his game.
Yeah,
Uh,
he has no touch. I agree.
like he just he just was all try hard. Like just a guy that's 100%. I'm just out there trying my hardest, and I know why coaches fall in love with that. And I wish they wouldn't. I hope they could kind of see past that. They the Nets' solution to their problems is making uh, Joe Harris a shooting guard again. Putting Joe Harris at his natural spot is a solution to their problems. Adding more guards to allow Joe Harris to play small forward, I just don't think that's the way to go. But for me right now, and I guess for everybody who pods and who's chronicling this, this supposed historic season the Nets are about to have, um, I think we're in a spot where Sean Marks has done such a good job that it's hard to criticize. It's hard to be mad about anything right now. But I'm just thinking for the future. Bembry is not going to be here in 5 years. But Sekou might be a part of this like young boy group. But when he gets an opportunity, he has to show it. And I think he showed it. I think he had a better game, playing against lesser opponents. But I think he had a better game than both Bembry and Javon. I, I I for me with Carter, it's just like great, nice to have, try hard guy, but I'm gonna be sick to my stomach if I see like you know Joe Harris, Javon Carter, and Bembry in the second team. Like that's that doesn't make sense. What would make more sense would be you know James Harden staggered off of Kyrie and KD with Claxton, Sekou, and Joe Harris at the two. That makes more sense to me than what I think. You know what I think Nash is gonna do. He loves the guards. He'll roll out 3 and 4 guards out there and one
Yeah,
big, and that's what the Nets do.
yeah. It's funny. I think I think Sekou just from like the feel of what you see from like what coaches say and just like little tidbits you get here and there. It seems like he's on the outside looking in, and it's not. I feel like he hasn't really done anything wrong. Like in fact, like I mean, Bembry is been in the league longer and has been able to show basically what he is and what he isn't.
Right.
I just wonder if like they're just gonna for these last couple spots, it's just gonna be like who does Nash just like trust, and does this team already have enough young guys with Dayron and Cam and Kessler and David Duke on the two way and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. But
Mm-hmm.
look, I think I mean what the nice thing about being a Nets fan right now is that like we get to talk about whether Sekou or Bembry is going to be the last spot on the team, which is pretty crazy.
It's like I said, it's hard to disagree with anything.